Do you ever feel like you're a contestant on one of those obstacle course shows where your obstacles are your undone laundry and your unpaid bills and a 40-hour work week? And then at the end, the prize is not collapsing into a puddle on your couch, doom scrolling social media. Because, yeah, same. Today we're going to talk about balancing those big, audacious goals that you might have with all of the very real responsibilities that life throws at us. I'll share how I've been juggling it, or at least trying to juggle it, and what's worked and what hasn't worked, and also how to just stop feeling like you're constantly dropping the ball. Let's start with the obvious that having big goals and big dreams is fantastic. But the reality of balancing them along with your real life can feel like trying to do yoga on a treadmill. Work, family, your health, these aren't just little speed bumps. They're major plot twists in your daily story. Here's the thing I keep trying to explain to you. No one's real life looks like those 5 a.m. miracle morning videos on YouTube. You know, the ones where the people get up and they journal and they meditate and they go for a 5-mile run and they still have time to drink their collagen-infused coffee before heading outside to watch the sunrise. The reality of most people's mornings... Sir, what do you do? You want to... Yeah? Agreed. The reality of most people's mornings is they're dealing with a dog and they're sleeping through their alarm and they're shoving a bagel in their face as they're running out the door, and they're probably forgetting 7 things. But all we can do is keep trying, right? So how do we do that? Step 1 would be to define your big goals. Get super clear on what your dreams are. Write them down. Don't overthink it. This isn't a final exam, and you don't want to talk yourself out of reaching for big things. You're just going to brain dump it down on paper. Do you want to write a book? Do you want to start a business? Do you want to run a marathon? Awesome. So write it down. Make it real. Then you're going to write down all of the real life things that you're balancing. And it's going to be a lot, especially if you're raising tiny humans. If you have a day job where you're working 40, 50, 60 hours a week, if you're managing a chronic illness. But you have to face the things that are responsibilities and that are going to cause some bumps in the road for you as you're chasing these big dreams. So be honest with both sides of the equation. The next thing you're going to do is you're going to break your goal down into tiny steps that you can make into actionable tasks. A big goal feels overwhelming. Staring at a piece of paper or a Post-it note that says write a 50,000 word book, that is some daunting stuff right there. So that's not what you're going to write down. You're going to have that on your big goals thing, but when you go to create your plan, you're not going to write a 50,000 word book. You're going to spend 15 minutes a day writing, because making actual progress is what keeps us going towards these big audacious things that we want. If we overwhelm ourselves with too big of a task, we're going to give up. And we know this because we always have. We've always given ourselves these big goals and big dreams, and when they didn't happen immediately, we gave up. We told ourselves we weren't strong enough, we weren't good enough, and that's not the case. It's just that we were looking too big picture, and we needed to go more granular. Because if I tell myself, I'm going to open my laptop and I'm going to sit here for 15 minutes, that is way more doable than when I tell myself, I'm going to write 5,000 words today. It's entirely possible that I am going to write 5,000 words a day, but I'm going to do it in 15-minute increments, because that is more logical, that's more reasonable, and it's more doable. Step 3 is a big one in the Rebel family. You're going to get yourself comfortable with imperfection. Real life is messy, and so is chasing your dreams. There are going to be days that you are going to crush it and you are going to think, I've got this. This time, I'm doing everything I need to do. And then there are going to be days where you can't get out of bed. There are going to be days when you lay on the couch and you rewatch ER. Ask me how I know. Can you believe, have you gone back and seen 30 years ago, these people on ER? George Clooney was a baby. Anyway, again, ask me how I know. But what do I always hammer home to you? It has to be about progress over perfection. Because if yesterday, and we're sticking with the book theme because it's easy, because I write books and I know how to break them down. So I apologize if I'm harping on writing a book and you could care less about it. It's just the easy example for me. But if yesterday I wrote 5,000 words working in 15-minute increments, and today I am exhausted and I cannot even bother to open my laptop. Okay, I got 5,000 words yesterday. I can take a break. It is never going to be linear. Chasing your dreams, chasing your goals is never going to be a straight line that just shows the days and the achievements and you're going to go like this. That is never going to happen. There are always going to be setbacks. There are going to be setbacks caused by circumstances. There are going to be setbacks caused by you, and that is okay because life is messy and everything that we do needs to be about progress over perfection. And that is why I harp on it so hard for you, because one day we're going to accept that getting just a little bit better as often as we can is better than giving up and never trying again. Step number 4 is to prioritize, or at least fake prioritization. We all have a million things on our plate, and this is when we have to start prioritizing things. And sometimes this can feel impossible when your brain is ping-ponging between, I should start a podcast, I should write a book, I should really clean out my fridge, what are we having for dinner tonight? Like, it's really hard to dial in and prioritize all the things that need to be done because everything feels like a priority. But here's the secret. If everything is a priority, then nothing is a priority. Everything in your day cannot hold equal importance. It just can't. It's not sustainable and it's not realistic, and you're never going to get anything done that way. So for me, every single day I pick 3 things, my 3 non-negotiables. These are the things that regardless of my energy level, regardless of what else is going on, these are the things that have to get done. And I will offer a caveat because these 3 priorities are goal-related priorities. So these are the 3 things I have to do today to move my goals forward. These are not things like walk the dog, feed the kid, clean my house. Those things also have to get done. They absolutely do. However, those things are going to get done. They're just going to get done because they're an everyday part of my life. The dog's going to get walked. My family's going to get fed. And I'm going to clean something because that's just what my body is used to. So your priorities are not your responsibilities. I hope I'm making that clear. So when I sit down to prioritize at night, I do this at night in my planner. I go through all the things I have to do to achieve my goals, and I pick the 3 things that have to get done. If I have more time, if I have more energy, I can add things to that priority list tomorrow. I'm just focused on 3 things that are going to move the needle and make me feel accomplished as if I've worked towards my goal. Another thing is to say no. No is a complete sentence. I am working on becoming a reformed people pleaser, which means I'm a people pleaser. And it gets very easy to say, yes, I want to help with this bake sale. Yes, I want to go get coffee with you. Yes, I want to do this thing. Yes, I want to do that thing. But everything that you say yes to becomes a no to something else. So while you are prioritizing things in your life, you have to prioritize yourself and your time. And you have to allow yourself the space to chase these dreams and goals. Because if you fill up all of your free time, and I use that word, I mean, there's a reason we air quote, none of us have free time. We have the time that we allow ourselves to allot to the things that we need to get done. But when we fill that space up with other people's priorities, we are never going to achieve the things that we want to achieve. So we have to learn to respect ourselves and our time enough to tell someone, no, thank you. I'm sorry that doesn't work for me this week. You do not have to give an explanation because you're going to sound silly saying, I'm sorry, I can't participate in the bake sale because I have to write 5,000 words today. It sounds silly, but no, I'm sorry, that doesn't work for me. That's it. No is a complete sentence. One other thing I might suggest for you, it just does not work for me, but I know that it does work for a lot of people, is to try time blocking, to assign chunks of time to certain responsibilities. I just can't make it work. I don't know if it's because my brain craves novelty too much to dedicate specific times to specific things. I don't know. I love a routine, but I hate being overly structured. So time blocking does not work for me. But if you do crave that structure and that routine type thing, I'm losing track of what I'm saying here. Look into time blocking because that might be something that would work really well for you. Step number 5 would be to build a support system where you can. Balancing big dreams with real life can be very difficult if you do not have a support system behind you. Try to surround yourself with people that support you and your goals. This could be family, it could be friends, it could be carving out just a little bit of extra money and a little bit of time to hire a babysitter to come sit with your kids so you can run down the street to the coffee shop and work for an hour uninterrupted. Support comes in all different shapes and sizes, and you need to find what works best for you and for your family. But if you are serious about tackling these big dreams and goals, you're gonna need support. You're gonna need to accept help, and sometimes you're gonna have to ask for it. And the final step is to take breaks without guilt. So this one is for my fellow overachievers who like to work ourselves into the ground and actually kind of enjoy it. I got some flack on my 45-day hard reset, that people feel that what I really should be doing is resting and taking breaks, and that I'm going to push myself into burnout. And I 100% appreciate your concern for me and respect that advice. However, as I stated in that video, I know myself, and I know that what I am feeling is not burnout. It is something else. I'm not burnt out because I've done nothing. I've done nothing in the last 2 months. So whatever the opposite of burnout is, that's where I am, and that's why I'm driving so hard. However, I have built in buffer days, and I do take breaks when I feel pressure or stress. I have spent years learning this about myself, learning when it's time to push and when it's time to hit the brakes. And it is a process, and it is something you learn by doing. When you need a break, you need a break. And most likely, if you are at a point where you're recognizing that you need the break, you already went too hard. So if you are very driven, very type A, very hustle, I don't like hustle culture, but I don't like the term because I think it's used a little too willy-nilly. And sometimes it can turn people off of hard work because hustle culture is so toxic, which it is. But working hard and hustling for the sake of hustling are two different things. And it's something it's an internal thing that you need to learn the signs of, you need to recognize, and you need to know when it's time to take a break. And you need to do so without feeling guilty for taking that break. So what I'm saying with all of this is that balancing big dreams and real life is not easy, but it is so worth it. It is so important that we take the time and the energy that we need to pursue our own goals, because our lives cannot be about constantly taking care of other people and their wants and needs. It is not only okay. Look at this guy. What? You got grumbles? Silly boy. I'm making a video. As I was saying, your life cannot always be about taking care of other people's lives. You have to find a way to carve out some time and some energy for the goals and dreams that you have for yourself. And while, yes, this video is specific to big dreams, they don't always have to be big dreams. They can be just little goals that you have for yourself. But you have to try to find a way to let yourself dream big. You have to find a way to let yourself go after the things that you want, because you are a person, and as much as your family deserves their health and happiness, you deserve your health and happiness too. And progress is progress, no matter how small that progress is. So it may take a really long time of tiny steps to get to where you want to be, but you will never get there if you don't take the first step. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I hope that you found this video helpful, or at the very least entertaining. Don't forget to smash all those YouTube buttons for me and leave me a comment below and let me know a big dream that you're gonna go after. Let me know a big goal that you're gonna chase if you're comfortable doing so. I love you so much, and I will see you next time.